Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Western Australia group. My name is Josh. My group members, Igusti, Andy, Daphne, Andre, and Dimas. We're going to present to you today about our product that we're presenting for Western Australia. First, we're going to give you a background on the Western Australia. Okay.
Okay, so Western Australia is located on the west part of Australia. It is the closest to Indonesia. Apparently from Bali, it would take you around 4 hours. From Jakarta, around the same time. And it covers a third of the continent. It thrives in economy boosted by mining sectors. And then they have gold, they have coal, and also they have 19 stunning beaches in Perth alone, and total of 12,500 kilometers of coastline. 131 days of clear blue skies with 9 hours of sun per day, giving it a beautiful outdoor lifestyle. Okay, so Western Australia has 2.2 million people. This is based on a 2011 paper, and then most of them live in Perth, Western Australia, and is home to the highest proportion of overseas-born residents in Australia. There are many Indonesians also living in Australia, and a huge portion also of Asian community. Also diverse in religion, with 58% of Christianity, and home to people from more than 190 countries, speaking 270 languages. Okay.
So this is the state cultural dimension of Australia. So it has a low power of distance, high individualism, high masculinity, and uncertainty avoidance, and a short-term orientation. But what's good about Australia for beer market is the other of state cultural dimension. It's called indulgence. So Australia have a high score of 71 in indulgence, and it means that Australian people exhibit a willingness to realize their impulse and desires with regard to enjoying life and having fun. So it means a good market for beer.
So we think that beer bintang is really suitable for Western Australia. And then this is the little bit of background about beer bintang. It is established at 1929 in Medan. They placed their brewery in Surabaya, and then they built their second brewery in Tangerang, 1972, and then they go public at 1981. Then their Asia Pacific breweries become the major shareholders in 2010, and the latest in 2013, Heineken buy their stocks and become the major shareholders. This is their main products, the Heineken beer, Bintang, and also the Bintang Radler, and then also they got the non-alcoholic beer, the Green Sands, and also the non-alcoholic beer is the Bintang Zero, and the carbonated soft drink is the Green Sands.
So this is our positioning for Bintang beer. So we put our brand here. So it's low budget beer with a heavy taste. And for target and segment, for our target market, we target out of male and female in age 18 to 49, because in Australia they have like the lowest age to drink alcohol is 16 or 17 years old. And this segment for beer bintang is we choose consumption rate and psychographic. For consumption rate, we segment as to regular drinker and occasional drinker. And for psychographic, there is 3 segments. Impulsive drinker. So impulsive drinker is people that drink beer on a whim with little concern over the choice of a beer. And the partiano, it's people that love to drink in like party. And then there is a sport orientation, people that drink beer only on sport event. And this is the differentiation of Bir Bintang with the other brand, beer brand in Australia. So Bir Bintang have a distinctive taste. It have a heavy taste, not like the other beer, and it have a modest ester aroma, mild hoppy flavor and bitterness, as well as a crisp and refreshing aftertaste. And it brewed from selected malt, hops and water, and processed with high quality standard.
So about the SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. For the strength of Bir Bintang it is the largest beer company in Indonesia. Bintang had achieved the best beer award on Brewing Industry International Award on 2011 in London. And also Australian who have been to Bali will know about Bintang because Bir Bintang is really well known in Bali. And also Bintang has a similar taste with Heineken, and Heineken is the second top imported beer brand in Australia, and the first one is Corona Light. So about the weakness, Bintang has a similar price range with Heineken, so people might prefer to go to Heineken instead rather than try something new like Bintang. And also not really known in Australia, except for people who has been to Bali. Only immigrants from Southeast Asia and people who already been in Indonesia will know about this beer. For the opportunities, lots of Southeast Asian immigrants in Western Australia, and they may have a similar taste in beer. Beer with Indonesian taste. Australian preferred lager beer, which is also the specialty of Bintang itself. And also cold beer, which is the specialty of Bintang, is suitable in high temperature area or in the place with many beach place. And also for the threats of Bintang is the first one is that Australian prefer their domestic crafted beer. And also Lion and Seth Miller, two Australians largest manufacturers, accounted for 50% of beer industry market share. So it's like half of the market share is dominated by Lion and Seth Miller.
As we know, this is the competitor, so there's a lot of beer around the world. So as we know, the Heineken, Carlsberg, Bud Light, so that's represent their country. The Bud Light that was started from US, and then the main competitor is the local beer. They call it Fort Pines, and then the Oxting, and then some of the Australians also make home brewing. So they make a beer by their own. So this is the major competitor that we can compete for. And then next, and then we decide to make a cluster analysis. So we start with the political, economical, and social factors. So next, the political is, so we decide to take taxation policy, law, local government, and administration. So the tax in Western Australia, the government states the tax based on how many percent the beer. So that's basically the price, and then the tax, you can just go check on the Australian Taxes Office. And then the government also give the law. They call it dry zone, which is city park, local street, footpaths, and hiking trails. We cannot drink in public, but some people still consider beer as beverages and then just like a light drink and stuff. And then the local government, you cannot buy the beer 18 years old plus. So yeah, it's age, which is like you have to have the driver license and Australian proof of age card to buy a beer. So, and then it's legal by administration, and they call it the Liquor Control Act 1988 and then Control Regulation 1989 by Department of Raising, Gaming and Liquor. So that's the political, and then this is the economical factors why we pick Bintang. Of course, lead consumer prospect and sales, that's a business cycle. And then since in Indonesia we have beer Bintang is really famous in distribution channel supply, so we want focus in distribution, which is maybe we can export or import, or maybe we can open the industry there or manufacturer there, and then we're gonna focus into the retail store, Walmart, or just a big department store. So every place we can get the Bintang. And then the supply, and then we have to think about exchange rate also from rupiah to Australian dollar, and then we have to think about the employment salaries. And then this is the social factors. Of course, we're gonna pick age, gender, income, education, and religion. Since Muslim not drink alcohol, but like the population of Muslim in Australia have a really low number, so it's a good opportunity for us to put our product there and increase the sales. And then in Australia, we have the lifestyle and habit, and then social drinking also, and then healthy drinking. I think that's all the social factors that we can put. And then next to the
technologies. Okay, so beer is the most popular drink in Australia. Second to it is wine, and the local group from the Lion Group, they count on high quality water for their ingredient, which makes very good beer. So what we have found is this. This is EcoVolt. This system actually allows the beer brewing companies to produce from wastewater. So this would be a good, valuable company asset, and so this can disinfect the utility water just using chlorine dioxide, but that's the basic. But all of this actually is also to produce the water waste. Next would be the environmental, which aligns to the technology, and also in Australia they have the waste authority department. Everything is based by the government. They have channels for you if you want to do any if you want to do any improvements for your company. They have good projects, and then they will guide you towards any CSR possible for your company. Next is the legal. There is also import duty, as Ajung had mentioned earlier, for importing beer into Australia, and then alcohol products imported to Australia for sale in the domestic market requires local labeling food standards. Australia has already templates of what kind of food standards labels you need to display. And beers are subject to different rates per liter, as Ajung also have mentioned before, based on the strength of alcohol content, so percentage of alcohol. And beer is generally subject to excess duty, and we need this access license to manufacture. So if we possibly can manufacture beer Bintang in Australia for Australian market, and New Zealand maybe, it would be great in Western Australia. Thank you.
Any questions? Questions?
Do you drink beer?
How much the price?
Bintang? I don't drink beer. So.
2.5. Yeah.
2.5 Australian
How much?
dollars.
How much? 2 point.
Around 2.5. So the beer Bintang is in Indo, they have a different price list. So in Indo, we assume like 15 tau you can get, 15 tau in Indo. But like if we check
with the tax, maybe around $4.
Maybe around 4 or 3 point something.
So the competitor is the
Heineken. So
The Heineken, how
beer
much
is
is it?
around
Price
$5 or
around
$6. So
$6.
Still cheaper though.
but cheaper. The reason why we drink the Bintang because then it's all about the experience and the social factors.
Are you going to change the packaging or the?
We need just to teach the food label, yeah.
Yeah.
To adjust to their standards, probably, but we want to keep the beer vinta in case they're the ones that come to visit Bali. So again, we're selling the experience, not the beer.
Not the beer.
Because we're already competing with local beers,
Mhm.
so we're trying to be the imported beer.
Yeah.
If we want to keep the main international standards, then we want to keep our labeling. We don't want to change that.
I think okay. Maybe you can add later on in the report regarding the how many the sales and your projections.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Number
Yeah, the numbers.
Okay.
All
Other
right.
than that, okay. Okay.
All right. Thank you
Thank you.
guys. Thanks.
Have a good day.
Jalan dulu.